Have you ever noticed how the people who are the kindest, the ones who carry peace like a second skin, are often the same ones who carry a fire inside them that could burn down strongholds when provoked? That paradox right there is the mystery of the chosen ones. Yes, you watching this right now, you're not just kind. You're divinely chosen to walk with grace, but don't get it twisted. You are also built to roar when truth is challenged. This isn't just a personality trait. This is spiritual coding. This is God's design. And this video, right here, is going to change how you see yourself. Forever. Chosen ones. Kind, but fierce. That's not just a phrase, that's a spiritual fact. You move with kindness and power. You carry both love and divine justice in your bones. You are God's warriors. The world may look at your gentleness and think it's weakness, but they don't know the fierce spirit of a chosen one until it rises in the moment it's called. You were made to embody spiritual boldness, a kind of strength that doesn't need to shout to be heard. But when the time comes, your voice can shake atmospheres. You are gentle, but strong, meek, yet mighty, righteous in strength. You're not here to fit in, you're here to set the tone. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt that inner switch flip? That moment where your soul says, enough? You tried to keep the peace, stay quiet, walk in love. But then someone pushed too far. They tried to test your patience, tried to mistake your silence for submission. And out of nowhere, something divine surged through you. That wasn't anger. That was your anointing. That was your spirit rising to defend truth. That's the power of the chosen when challenged. It's not revenge, it's revelation. It's righteous strength. Many of you carry markings on your hands, physical signs that most people overlook. Lines and patterns, heat in your palms, a certain weight you feel when you place your hands on someone or something. That's no coincidence. Those are prophetic hand signs, divine symbols embedded in your being, announcing who you are without you needing to say a word. These markings are not for decoration, they're for identification. When you lay your hands to pray, to protect, to build, you are activating energy directly connected to your spiritual assignment. Let me speak directly to your soul for a moment. You were never made to be walked on. You were made to be walked with, to lead, to guide, to protect. You were sent here to disrupt darkness with light, to love deeply but fight spiritually. You are the balance. You are the living message that kindness does not mean weakness. You've been judged for being too nice or too soft, but they have no idea that your softness is a choice, a discipline, a power that holds back the storm unless it's absolutely necessary. This is what the world doesn't understand. When a chosen one is challenged, when their peace is disturbed with unjust intent, they do not fold, they transform. The meekness disappears, and the mighty warrior emerges, not from ego, but from divine instruction. You were chosen to rise when others run. You were chosen to speak when silence would be easier. You were chosen to fight, not with fists, but with fire from heaven. Drop a 777 333 or 999 in the comments if you've ever felt that fierce presence rise within you just when you thought you were about to break. That wasn't a breakdown. It was a breakthrough. And I want you to take this video as confirmation that you are not losing it. You are awakening. Subscribe to this channel right now, Chosen One. Tap that bell icon and share this video with someone else who needs to remember who they really are. This is Rise of the Chosen, and you're about to discover the deeper layers of your strength. There's something sacred about being both kind and fierce. It confuses people. It unsettles those who only see in black and white. But chosen ones, you were never meant to be one-dimensional. You were crafted by divine hands to carry what most people can't: balance. The kind of balance that holds both compassion and confrontation, mercy and fire. You are the living paradox, and that is where your power lies. People often misunderstand this spiritual duality. They expect kindness to mean silence. They think peace means passivity, but that's because they don't understand the strength of the chosen. You aren't kind because you lack strength. You are kind because your strength is under control. You're not fierce because you're angry. You're fierce because you're aligned with truth, with righteousness, with purpose. When a chosen one walks into a room, the atmosphere changes, not because they say much, but because their spirit is loud. Your softness is not surrender, it's strategy. Your calmness is not cowardice, it's spiritual calculation. When you choose kindness, it's not because you don't know how to clap back. It's because you're connected to something greater. And when you choose to speak fire, it's not because you've lost your peace. It's because peace was disrupted by unrighteousness, and your spirit was called into motion. You were never made to stay quiet when truth is being threatened. That's when the fierce spirit chosen one rises. There's a deep mystery in being both meek yet mighty. Most people only master one. They're either aggressive without compassion or so gentle that they avoid all conflict. But chosen ones, you live in that divine tension. You don't seek confrontation, but you're never afraid of it. You don't yell to be heard. Your silence carries authority. That is spiritual boldness. That is righteous strength. The world doesn't know what to do with someone like you. You forgive deeply. You give second chances. You try to understand even when you've been wronged. But if someone thinks they can repeatedly step on your spirit, manipulate your heart, or abuse your grace, they're in for a rude awakening. The lion in you may be sleeping, but it's never gone. It's just discerning when to roar. And when that roar comes, it's not messy or chaotic. It's holy, it's sharp, it's surgical. You speak with fire, but never out of ego. You move with power, but never out of pride. That's what makes you different. That's why the enemy fears you, because your fierceness isn't reactive. It's anointed. You don't act out. You move when heaven says move. And when you do, things shift. Kindness and power were never meant to be separate. Look at nature. Water nourishes and destroys. Fire warms and consumes. Wind refreshes and uproots. And just like creation, the chosen ones carry both sides of the divine design. You were made in the image of a creator who is both father and fire. That's why you carry the ability to love deeply and defend fiercely. That's why people don't always understand you. You're not meant to fit into worldly boxes. You're meant to challenge them just by existing. Think back to the times you held back your words when someone pushed you. That wasn't weakness. That was strength rooted in restraint. And remember the few times you let your voice rise, how everything around you paused, how the air felt charged. That's not coincidence. That's what happens when a chosen one speaks with spiritual boldness. When a vessel of God declares truth, it carries weight. And whether people admit it or not, they feel it in their soul. Let me tell you why your kindness has always been tested. It's because your enemies hope you'll lose your fire and confuse your identity. They want you to think that being spiritual means staying silent. But your power isn't in pretending to be peaceful. Your power is in knowing when to protect peace and when to rise for righteousness. That's why the chosen ones, kind but fierce, are such a divine force in the world. You don't back down. You discern. You don't explode. You execute. You are like a sword wrapped in silk. Most people only see the silk, but those with eyes to see know there's a blade beneath it. Not to harm without cause, but to cut through lies, illusions, and spiritual manipulation. When God raises up his warriors, He doesn't just give them muscles and might. He gives them mercy and wisdom. He gives them intuition. The strength of the chosen is not just physical, it's spiritual, it's emotional, it's prophetic. Chosen ones, it's time to stop downplaying that part of you. You've spent so long trying not to intimidate others with your strength, trying to fit into soft molds that couldn't contain your truth. But the time has come to embrace all of it. Your gentleness, your fire, your discernment, your boundaries, your voice. That fierce spirit, chosen one, is not your shadow, it's your armor. Let your energy speak before you open your mouth. Let your kindness confuse your enemies, and let your fierceness command respect, not because you're trying to prove anything, but because you were born to embody both, to walk with the softness of heaven and the strength of holy fire. You are a divine contradiction walking in perfect alignment, and that makes you unstoppable. Keep watching, because we're just getting started. This journey is about to dive even deeper into why you were built this way. If you're still with me, take a second and drop a 666 or 444 in the comments if you've ever had to hold back your fire just to keep the peace. I see you, I feel you, and your strength is not going unnoticed. Let's keep going. The next section is going to unlock the part of you that has always known. Your silence holds power, but your roar brings transformation. Spiritual boldness. The inner warrior of the chosen. There is a type of power the world cannot measure. It's not loud. It's not flashy. It doesn't boast or fight for attention. It lives quietly, deeply, beneath the surface. And when it rises, it does not ask permission. That, chosen ones, is spiritual boldness. That's the strength of the chosen. You might not always be the loudest voice in the room, but your presence is undeniable. You carry something ancient in your spirit, an authority that comes not from ego, but from divine design. Let's be honest. You've always known there's a warrior inside of you. Even when you didn't fully understand it, you could feel it. That fire in your belly, that inner conviction that pushes you to stand up when others shrink back. That instinct to defend the broken, to speak up for what's right, even when it costs you peace. That's not random. That's not just a strong personality. That's the fierce spirit of a chosen one. Called, tested, trained, and ready. Spiritual boldness is not about being aggressive or confrontational. It's about standing firm in your truth, even when it shakes the room. It's about having the courage to speak when silence is safer. It's about choosing divine alignment over social approval. The chosen are not people pleasers. They are God pleasers. And that makes them dangerous to any system built on deception. You see, the enemy doesn't attack the loudest ones. The enemy attacks the silent warriors, the gentle giants, the ones who seem quiet but hold nations in their spirit. That's why you've been tested the way you have. That's why life hasn't let you coast. You've been thrown into fire, betrayal, loss, and isolation, not to break you, but to awaken the boldness that was always in you. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to break molds. You've been in situations where you knew something was wrong, but everyone else stayed silent. And there you were, heart racing, palms hot, that pressure in your chest rising. That's the Holy Spirit stirring. That's divine activation. That's what it feels like when the chosen one's fire begins to move. It doesn't feel like rage. It feels like truth demanding to be released. And when you speak, even if your voice shakes, something shifts. That's the thing about the strength of the chosen. It's not about how loud you speak. It's about the power behind your words. You could whisper and still silence a room. You could raise one hand and stop a storm in the spirit. Why? Because your boldness is backed by heaven. You don't need a stage. You are the stage. Your life is the message. Your presence is the warning. Spiritual boldness shows up in everyday decisions, saying no when people expect yes, walking away when your flesh wants to fight, standing still when your ego wants to defend. It's the quiet courage to be disliked, misunderstood, or even rejected because you chose obedience over approval. That's the real strength. That's the kind of boldness that makes demons tremble and heaven applaud. Some of you are waking up to this power right now. You're remembering who you are. You're realizing that the reason you couldn't fake it, couldn't be fake with people, couldn't sit quiet when lies were being spoken, was because your spirit won't let you. You're not rebellious. You're chosen. And being chosen means you carry a different set of instructions. Let me tell you something. You were never meant to live a small, quiet life hidden in fear. You were meant to shake realms, and you don't need a sword to do it. Your presence alone can convict hearts. Your voice carries codes. Your energy carries movement. Even when you don't say a word, people sense something in you. That's spiritual boldness at work, the unseen power that radiates from your alignment with truth. Some of you carry this boldness, but have been made to feel guilty about it. You've been told you're too intense, too much, too honest, but what they really meant was, your light revealed too much of their darkness. Your truth exposed what they were trying to hide. And instead of shrinking back, I'm telling you, lean in. That inner warrior is not here to be tamed. It's here to be trained. God's warriors are not just made in battle, they are made in obedience. And obedience sometimes means walking alone. It means being the only voice in a room saying, "This isn't right." It means drawing boundaries where others draw lines in sand. It means walking away from what's popular to protect what's holy. That's the boldness that the chosen ones walk in. And it's not random. It's been forged in the furnace of experience. If you've ever been in a moment where you wanted to explode, but instead you breathed, prayed, and released it to God, that was spiritual boldness. If you've ever stood firm in your truth even when people rolled their eyes or laughed at you, that was strength of the chosen. If you've ever said, "No more," and meant it, that was your spirit rising. You didn't just survive, you transformed. You didn't just endure, you activated. And now, here you are, realizing that the fire inside of you is holy. It was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to reveal you, the kind of fire that purifies, that sharpens, that illuminates. Your boldness isn't just a character trait. It's your spiritual armor. It's what makes you stand out, and it's what makes you unstoppable. So stop second-guessing the fire in you. Stop apologizing for your truth. Stop watering down your message to make others comfortable. You weren't called to be liked. You were called to lead. And true leaders, real chosen ones, don't follow crowds. They follow calling. This is your reminder. The world needs your boldness. The people around you may not understand you yet, but they will. The moment you step into your full identity, they'll feel the shift. And even if they don't like it, they'll respect it. Because spiritual boldness commands attention, not through noise, but through alignment. Chosen one, your quiet fire is your power. And when you finally embrace it, fully, boldly, unapologetically, you don't just change your life. You shake the kingdom of darkness. Stay with me. The next part of this journey is going to dive into the physical signs, the markings many of you carry without even realizing they're proof of your calling. Get ready. The evidence is written on your hands. Physical signs of the chosen, hands of prophecy. Look down at your hands for a moment. Really look. You might think they're just skin and bone, maybe a few scars here and there, some lines, some roughness. But for many chosen ones, those hands tell a deeper story, a prophetic story, a spiritual blueprint etched into flesh. You may not even realize it, but the markings on your hands, those lines, curves, and sometimes even unusual signs, are more than just random. They are prophetic hand signs, signs of who you are, what you carry, what you've been called to do. You see, the chosen ones often carry physical signs that others overlook. And the hands, that's where some of the deepest signals lie. These markings are not just mystical, They are spiritual confirmations. Some of you have noticed unusual lines, X marks, stars, grids, or even heat radiating from your palms. These are not to be ignored. These are signatures from the divine realm, confirming your assignment on earth. Markings on hands have been spoken about in sacred texts, seen in ancient prophetic traditions, and felt by those who are spiritually awakened. Why the hands? Because the hands are portals of action. They are the tools you use to build, to heal, to bless, to defend, to pray. They represent spiritual power in motion. For the chosen, your hands are not ordinary. They are instruments of divine energy. When you lay your hands on someone with love or in prayer, you're transferring more than comfort. You're moving energy, healing wounds, igniting awakenings. That's why your touch feels different to some people. That's why your presence lingers long after you've walked away. There are chosen ones out there who've always felt something burning or tingling in their palms. You may feel it when you're praying, or when you're around certain people, or in places heavy with spiritual energy. That's not your imagination. That's your spirit responding. That's the fierce spirit of the chosen one activating through your body. You were born with this sensitivity, not to be overwhelmed by the world, but to shift it, to sense what others miss, to feel what others bury. Some of you have hands that seem magnetic. People gravitate toward them. Children trust them. Animals respond to them. That's because your hands carry healing. That's the gift. The same way a prophet sees with vision, a healer feels with their hands. That's why laying hands is more than a gesture. It's a spiritual transaction. For the chosen, your hands are part of your ministry, your mission, your message. There's also a reason why your hands might have been attacked. Maybe you've had injuries, nerve pain, or issues that doctors couldn't explain. It's not always physical. Sometimes the enemy tries to hinder the very tools you're meant to use in your purpose, but what God anoints, no attack can truly disable. Your hands may have been through trauma, but they are still powerful. Maybe even more so now. Scars don't disqualify. They confirm survival, and survival with purpose. And here's the deeper truth. These prophetic hand signs are not to make you feel special just for the sake of it. They're to remind you that you are equipped, chosen, appointed. They are the physical confirmation of a spiritual reality. You're not here by accident. You were placed here, prepared here, and now you're being activated. God never sends warriors into battle without first marking them with what they need. And your hands are part of your divine weaponry. The chosen, when challenged, become fierce, not just with words, but with action. And what carries out that action? The hands. Whether it's through writing, creating, healing, defending, or simply holding space for others, your hands are the extension of your anointing. That's why when you touch something, it shifts. When you write, it carries weight. When you hold someone, they feel safer. Because your hands are sacred tools. Some of you may have never paid attention to the details. Maybe you've ignored that heat, that pull, that energy that sparks when you pray or feel something intensely. But now is the time to start noticing, to become aware. Because what's in your hands is part of what you're supposed to release into the world. Your strength, your healing, your fire, it all flows through your body, and the hands are one of the most active channels. Chosen ones. Physical signs are real. They're not fiction, not fantasy, and not superstition. They are spiritual truths that show up in physical form. And it's time for you to stop brushing them off or hiding them. Because when you start embracing who you are, when you start using what's been given to you, you unlock a whole new level of authority. So the next time someone tells you they feel different after your touch, believe them. When you feel energy rising in your hands during prayer or worship, trust it. That's your calling waking up. That's God reminding you, you're not just spiritually strong, you're spiritually equipped. You are the chosen, you are marked, and your hands carry the evidence. Let them be used. Let them bless, let them build, let them be bold. Because when the chosen rise, they don't just speak, they move. And when they move, the world feels it. Let's keep going. The next part will reveal why your spirit gets tested so often, why the world keeps poking at your peace, hoping to provoke the warrior inside of you. Why the world tests the chosen. Let's talk about the pressure, the poking, the constant spiritual irritation many of you feel almost daily. Ever wonder why you, out of everyone, seem to always be tested? Why people randomly disrespect you, challenge your peace, or try to pull you out of character when you're just trying to live your life in alignment? It's not by accident. It's because you are the chosen. And when you're chosen, you carry light. And when you carry light, darkness will always try to disturb you. The world doesn't test just anybody. It tests those with power. It tests those who have something to protect. You've probably noticed how often you're put in situations that require restraint. You could destroy people with your words. You could clap back, expose them, hurt them. But something inside tells you to pause. That's not weakness. That's spiritual intelligence. That's the strength of the chosen. You are being forged in the fire of pressure, not to break you, but to sharpen your discernment and refine your grace under heat. People who lack spiritual depth will never understand why you walk the way you do. They'll see your kindness and assume you're soft. They'll hear your silence and think you're scared. They'll test your boundaries again and again, not realizing that they're playing with holy fire. The world loves to test the chosen because they want a reaction. But your job is not to react, it's to respond. And sometimes, the strongest response is stillness. Let me say it clearly. You're not being attacked because you're doing something wrong. You're being attacked because you're doing something right. The enemy doesn't go after empty vessels. He targets those filled with light, purpose, and divine boldness. You carry truth. You carry healing. You carry righteous strength. And because of that, you're going to be misunderstood, lied on, challenged, and provoked. But don't let it steal your peace. Let it confirm your identity. Many of you have experienced this even in your own families, workplaces, or inner circles. You're the one who tries to keep things peaceful. You let things slide. You walk away instead of escalating. And yet, somehow, you're still the one they test the most. That's because your light exposes what they're hiding. And even though you don't try to offend, your very presence convicts people. That's not something to apologize for. That's something to understand and use wisely. Being a chosen one means you live by a different code. You don't get to pop off just because someone disrespected you. You don't get to fight fire with fire. Why? Because your fire comes from heaven, and it's not meant to be wasted on foolish battles. The test isn't about the people, it's about your response. Will you let their chaos drag you down? Or will you rise above, knowing exactly who you are? Chosen. When challenged, this is your divine pattern. You don't move unless it's necessary. You don't speak unless there's a purpose. You don't fight unless the battle is righteous. That's why your strength is so intimidating. You're not moved by petty drama. You're moved by spiritual truth. That's the kindness and power that defines the chosen. But that doesn't mean you're passive. Let me be clear. Spiritual boldness is not weakness in disguise. It's wisdom in motion. It means knowing the difference between battles that build you and distractions that drain you. It means choosing silence when your flesh wants to speak, but also choosing war when your spirit is instructed by heaven. You were never called to be a doormat. You were called to be a doorway. People may try to walk over you, but they don't realize you're the entrance to something divine. This is why you must protect your energy. Not everyone deserves access to your spirit. Not every situation requires your fire. You are fierce, but that fierceness is sacred. Use it wisely. Channel it with intention. Don't let the world's chaos turn you into something you're not. Let the challenges refine you, not redefine you. If this part is hitting you in your spirit, take a breath and drop 444 or 999 in the comments. Let this be your moment of confirmation. You've been tested because you carry something rare, and every test you pass takes you deeper into your calling. Let's go deeper. Now that you understand the reason for the pressure, it's time to remember what kind of warrior you truly are, and why silence does not mean surrender. The next section is going to remind you that when a chosen one moves, it's never by accident. It's by divine command. God's warriors, not weak, just peaceful until called. Let's get one thing straight today. Just because the chosen ones walk in peace doesn't mean they are weak. Don't ever mistake stillness for softness. The most powerful warriors in the kingdom are often the ones who speak the least, smile the most, and keep their hands clean until it's time to go to war. And when that time comes, the world witnesses something it was never prepared for, a peaceful spirit turned into a divine weapon. That is the reality of God's warriors. That is who you are. You were not chosen to be passive. You were chosen to carry authority wrapped in humility. You move with quiet strength, waiting for divine timing. Not because you don't have fire, but because your fire is sacred. You don't use it to prove points. You use it to fulfill purpose. That's what sets the chosen apart from the reactive and the reckless. You don't rise for every argument. You rise when heaven signals. And when you do, your power speaks louder than words ever could. Think about the great warriors of scripture and history. David didn't just kill Goliath because he was strong. He did it because he was called. He was anointed. Esther didn't step into the king's court recklessly. She waited. She prayed. But when she moved, she saved a nation. Jesus himself was the embodiment of meek yet mighty. He walked in love, in compassion, in deep patience. But when it was time to flip tables, he did. When it was time to confront spirits, he didn't hold back. That's the pattern of the chosen. You carry that same spirit. You know what it's like to hold your tongue, even when your heart is heavy. You know what it's like to feel your soul stirred, knowing you could respond, knowing you could destroy someone with the truth. But you stay still, because you hear the whisper of the Spirit say, "Not yet." That's not fear. That's strength under control. That's what it means to be a God-ordained warrior. You wait for the right moment, and when it comes, you move like fire guided by wisdom. The world misunderstands this kind of power. It thinks you're afraid or uncertain or soft. But the truth is, your patience is terrifying, because when you finally act, you do it with precision, with heavenly force. You are not random with your energy. You are strategic with your spirit. And when you step into battle, the enemy knows it's over. The enemy has tried to make you doubt your power by calling your gentleness a flaw, but gentleness is not weakness. It's divine armor. It's what keeps your spirit grounded so that when the time comes to unleash your fire, it doesn't burn everything. It burns the right things. Your kindness isn't a mask, it's your true nature. But when righteousness is challenged, the lion in you awakens. You weren't sent here to avoid conflict at all costs. You were sent to bring truth that confronts lies, love that confronts fear, light that confronts darkness. The chosen ones are not meant to run from confrontation. They are meant to meet it with divine poise. You don't throw hands, you throw truth. You don't curse people. You speak judgment wrapped in clarity. You don't seek revenge. You release justice with heavenly timing. This is why the world keeps trying to provoke you, because when you're still, they think they're winning, but they don't realize. Your stillness is the silence before the storm. When a chosen one finally moves, mountains shift, spirits flee, and things never go back to what they were. That's the anointing you carry. You are peaceful because you know your power. You don't have to prove yourself to anyone. That's what makes you untouchable. That's what makes you a God's warrior. You weren't made to fight like the world. You were made to war in the spirit, to confront with presence, to shift things with your very atmosphere. And when people finally see you rise, they realize this wasn't a game, this was spiritual order being restored. Chosen one, let this section be your reminder. You are not weak, you are not afraid, you are not passive. You are simply waiting. Waiting for the right moment, the divine release, the spiritual green light. And when that moment comes, don't hold back. Move with every ounce of holy fire you carry, because you are God's warrior, peaceful until called, but unstoppable when sent. Stay tuned, because next we're going to explore how to walk through this world with gentleness and strength, how to hold your peace without ever losing your power. Being gentle but strong in today's world. It's not easy walking through today's world with both gentleness and strength. Everywhere you turn, there's pressure to pick a side. Be soft and get walked over. Be strong and be labeled aggressive. But you, chosen one, you weren't made to fit into those false choices. You were created to be both. Gentle in spirit, but immovable in truth. Compassionate in heart, but unshakable in purpose. That's not weakness, that's power. And it's time you start walking like you know it. There's something different about you, the way you speak, the way you handle conflict, the way you carry peace in a world addicted to noise. You've probably heard people say you're too quiet or too calm, especially when chaos breaks out. But they don't understand. Your calmness isn't lack of awareness, it's authority. You've been through enough storms to know you don't need to react to every thunderclap. You move when it matters, you speak when it counts. That's what it means to be gentle but strong. The chosen ones are spiritual anchors. You're the ones people come to when everything is falling apart. You're the ones who hold space when others can't take the pressure. But even anchors get tired. And here's the truth. Your gentleness isn't supposed to come at the cost of your boundaries. You can still be loving and say no. You can still offer peace and walk away from what drains your spirit. That's not cold, that's wisdom. In this world, strength is often mistaken for force. People equate volume with truth, aggression with leadership. But spiritual strength moves differently. It doesn't shout, it shifts. It doesn't bully, it builds. You don't need to flex your power to prove you have it. Your restraint is the evidence, your ability to hold back, to remain composed when everything inside you is ready to erupt. That's the strength of the chosen. That's the kindness and power working as one. Many chosen ones have learned the hard way that the world only respects boundaries when you enforce them. You've been the forgiving one, the one who lets things go, the one who tries to understand even when no one's trying to understand you. But let's be clear, there is a holy boldness rising in you now. One that says, I can love you and still protect my peace. One that says, I will not allow my gentleness to become a doorway for abuse. It's not your job to fix everyone. You were sent to be a light, not a crutch. Some people are drawn to your energy because they feel safe, but don't confuse their attachment for alignment. If someone only loves you when you're quiet, passive, or constantly giving, they're not in love with your spirit. They're in love with your silence. And the moment you speak your truth, you'll see who really values your presence. That's why balance is your superpower. You can comfort someone 1 minute and stand firm the next. You can walk away without hating them. You can choose not to argue and still know you won. You don't always need to defend yourself. Your energy already speaks. Your spirit already convicts. Your silence already teaches. The chosen ones have been assigned to walk in a level of maturity that the world doesn't often understand. You'll be asked to forgive things you never got apologies for. You'll be called to lead where others stay silent. But your strength is not in becoming what hurt you. Your strength is in staying rooted in love while refusing to be shaken by manipulation. That's the fierce spirit of the chosen one, able to walk through fire and not let the flames change your heart. Your power lies in your choices. You choose kindness, you choose peace, you choose forgiveness, but don't confuse choice with compromise. You don't compromise your truth to keep the peace. You bring peace by standing in your truth. And if that makes others uncomfortable, let it. You weren't called to be comfortable. You were called to be consecrated. So walk with your head high, chosen one. You are gentle, but you are not fragile. You are soft, but you are not small. You are humble, but you are not hidden. You are a spiritual warrior disguised in compassion. And the world is about to see what it really looks like when someone walks with God's fire wrapped in peace. Up next, we're going even deeper. You've heard all about what's around you. Now it's time to unlock what's within you, because your strength is not just visible. It's written in your very being. It's time to realize that you are the sign. 8. Your strength is your proof. You are the sign. 600 words. You've been looking for signs, haven't you? Looking for confirmation that you're chosen, that you're on the right path, that what you feel deep in your spirit is real. Let me tell you something today that will shift your entire understanding. You are the sign. Your strength is the proof. Your ability to stay kind when the world has given you every reason to be cold. That's the evidence. Your resistance to bitterness, your loyalty to love, your silence in storms, your fierceness when truth is on the line. Those are not just personality traits. Those are divine indicators. You were marked for something greater. Chosen ones, the world wants to convince you that you need external validation to confirm your calling. But the truth is, everything you need to know about who you are is already inside you. Look at your life. Look at the things you've endured and still kept your heart intact. Look at the way you've chosen compassion instead of cruelty. Look at how many times you've had to walk alone, how often you've been misunderstood, and still you haven't given up. That's not normal. That's divine endurance. That's righteous strength. You are not broken. You are battle-tested. You are not weak for feeling deeply. You are strong because you still choose to feel even after all you've been through. The world tells you to numb out, to protect yourself by hardening up. But you chose the higher path. You chose to keep your heart open, your mind sharp, and your soul anchored in truth. That's why you're the sign. The proof that light still lives in a dark world. The chosen ones, kind but fierce, were sent to be walking mirrors, reflections of divine strength disguised in human form. You trigger people not because you're trying to, but because your very existence exposes what others are avoiding. Your presence convicts. Your energy cleanses. You don't even have to say a word. Your walk alone announces who you are in the spirit. You are not here to be understood by everyone. You're here to awaken those who've been sleeping. When people look at you, they don't always see what you've conquered. They don't see the nights you cried silently while still showing up for others. They don't see the inner wars you've had to win just to keep smiling. But heaven sees, and the heavens have marked you accordingly. That strength you carry is your stamp of selection. That fire that refuses to die inside you, that's God's fingerprint. Some of you have been wondering why things don't work out easily for you, why every step feels like a spiritual battle. That's because you're not ordinary. You're not just on this earth to survive. You're here to shift timelines, to break generational curses, to be the one that darkness couldn't silence. You carry a fierce spirit, and every time you choose peace over pettiness, every time you speak truth in love, every time you hold back fire until it's time, that's spiritual warfare. And every time you win, you don't need a title, you don't need a pulpit, you don't need the approval of the masses. You've already been commissioned. Heaven has already recognized you, and if you ever doubted it, let this moment be your confirmation. You are the sign. If that resonates deep in your soul, if you've been through fire but still shine with grace, drop 444 or 999 in the comments. Let your spirit testify. Because this is not just another video, this is a spiritual mirror, and what you're seeing in it, chosen one, is your reflection, strong, pure, bold, and anointed. Stay with me now. The final part is coming next, and it's the most important. We're going to close this journey by sealing everything you felt with a reminder of your true identity. It's time to rise, not someday, not soon, but now. Chosen one, you've come this far because something deep inside you knows you're not like the rest. You've been called, refined, and positioned for something greater than what the world can offer. You've walked through fire and came out glowing. You've been silent long enough. Now, it's time to rise. Not with noise, not with rage, but with righteous strength, the kind that flows from the throne of heaven through your veins. Everything you've heard in this message wasn't just information. It was activation, a call to your spirit to remember who you are. The world may not have crowned you, but heaven did. You've been marked by fire, clothed in humility and armed with truth. You are a fierce spirit chosen one, kind but unshakable, humble but unmovable, gentle but ready. You are God's warrior. This world needs your presence, your voice, your example. Not a perfect version of you, but the real you. The one who's felt pain and still chose purpose. The one who's been tested but never turned bitter. The one who fights with light and leads with love. Your very existence is spiritual warfare. Just being who you are shakes systems, exposes lies, and awakens others to their own calling. That is your power. That is your role. Now is the time to rise. Not someday. Not when you feel more ready. Not when the world validates you. But now. The earth is groaning, and heaven is looking for those bold enough to carry the weight of truth. That's you. You've always known it. And now you're being reminded. So walk tall, speak with authority, move with intention. Set your boundaries with love, and defend your peace with holy fire. You are meek, yet mighty. You are righteous in strength. You are a chosen vessel of divine purpose. If this message stirred something in your soul, then don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap that bell icon so you don't miss what's coming next. Share this with someone who needs to rise in their strength, who needs to remember who they are. Your voice matters. Your presence is power. You are not just chosen. You are the proof that God still sends warriors in quiet disguises. Keep rising. Keep walking. This is just the beginning. The